On April 8th, 2024, a celestial phenomena is going to occur. The sun, moon, and earth are going to align in perfect harmony, plunging the world into a temporary and eerie darkness. This mystical event, known as a solar eclipse, has been a source of awe, fear, and wonder throughout human history. And this eclipse is no different. Religious folk, astrologers, and conspiracy theorists are all out broadcasting their predictions of war, chaos, and natural disasters, especially for the United States, because this solar eclipse crosses right over the nation. But I don't want to scare you or make any vague predictions. Rather, we're going to briefly discuss the cultural and spiritual history of the solar eclipse, because the more you know, the less you'll fear. Our journey begins in the ancient world, where the sun was seen as a divine entity, and its disappearance during a solar eclipse was often interpreted as a sign of divine displeasure or an omen of doom, particularly for the king and the nation. The Mesopotamians had sophisticated astronomical knowledge, and they could predict eclipses. They believed that an eclipse was a sign of the gods' anger, and they performed rituals to appease them, including appointing a substitute king to bear the brunt of the predicted misfortune, thus protecting the real king. In ancient China, solar eclipses were thought to be the result of a celestial dragon devouring the sun, and it just so happens that 2024 is the year of the dragon. The Chinese also had the ability to predict eclipses and saw them as important omens that could foretell the future prosperity or disaster of the emperor and his kingdom. During an eclipse, people would bang drums and make loud noises to scare the dragon away and save the sun. Moving westward to ancient Greece, we encounter a slightly different approach to solar eclipses, where an eclipse was seen as a sign of peace instead of war. For example, the great philosopher Thales of Miletus is said to have accurately predicted a solar eclipse in 585 BCE, which supposedly occurred during a battle between Medes and the Lydians, which led to an immediate ceasefire as the soldiers took the eclipse as a sign to stop fighting. In the Mayan culture, solar eclipses held special significance. They believed that an eclipse was a message from the gods and a moment when the natural order was disrupted, and this allowed for a time of introspection and change. According to some interpretations, during a solar eclipse, the sun god was believed to be in combat with the moon or the underworld deities. This cosmic struggle represented the temporary victory of dark forces over light, which reflected the cyclical themes of death and rebirth, which is prevalent in Mayan mythology. But now, let's take a look into the Middle Ages, when the interpretation of solar eclipse took a religious turn. In Europe, eclipses were seen as divine warnings or punishments. This may explain why there are a lot of Christian prophecies predicting World War III. During the Middle Ages in Europe, solar eclipses were often interpreted through the lens of Christianity. Solar eclipses were commonly seen as signs from God, predicting significant events such as disasters, plagues, war, or the death of a king. A notable example is the solar eclipse of 1133, which was seen as an omen predicting the death of King Henry I of England. Fast forward to the Renaissance, which was an era of discovery and enlightenment. The Renaissance period between the 14th and 17th centuries marked a shift toward empirical investigation and curiosity in the interpretation of natural phenomena such as solar eclipse, and shifted away from the religious and superstitious explanations. The advancements in astronomy, such as Copernicus, Galileo, and Kepler, made groundbreaking contributions during this period. Copernicus proposed a heliocentric model of the solar system, suggesting that the sun is the center and the Earth and other planets move around the sun, and not the long-held geocentric model that believed everything moved around the Earth. This provided a new framework for understanding celestial events, including eclipses. Solar eclipses continue to captivate scientific discovery. Scientists use eclipses as opportunities to study the sun's corona, which is the outermost part of the sun's atmosphere, which is only visible during a total solar eclipse. Now, let's finish this cosmic history lesson with present-day astrology, which considers solar eclipses as important events that one should not ignore. In modern astrology, which is different from astronomy that studies the physical universe, solar eclipses are viewed as powerful cosmic events that symbolize beginnings, endings, and major life changes. They're considered to be potent times for setting intentions, releasing outdated modes of being, and embracing transformation. Here is a simpler way to understand how modern astrology sees solar eclipses. 1. As a cosmic reset button. Imagine if life had a reset button, like when you restart a video game to begin a new chapter with a fresh perspective. Astrologers think of solar eclipses as nature's reset buttons, offering us a chance to start new phases in our lives, rethink our paths, and make significant changes. 2. Pause and reflect. In astrology, the sun represents our core identity, our essence, and how we shine in the world. The moon, on the other hand, symbolizes our emotions, intuition, our mind, and even hidden parts of ourselves. During a solar eclipse, when the moon passes between the earth and the sun, briefly blocking out the sun's light, it's like the moon is saying to the sun, let's take a moment to pause and reflect. This celestial event is seen as a powerful moment for introspection and understanding our deeper needs and desires. 3. Themes of eclipses. Each solar eclipse is believed to carry a specific theme or lesson depending upon which astrological sign it falls in. For example, an eclipse in a water sign like Cancer might highlight themes around home, family, and emotional security, urging us to address these areas in our lives. An eclipse in a fire sign like Leo could encourage us to express ourselves more boldly and creatively. 4. Personal and collective impact. A solar eclipse can have both personal and collective impacts based on astrological charts and societal trends. They suggest that the effects of an eclipse can be felt in the weeks leading up to and following the event, with some astrologers proposing that major life changes can unfold in the months or even years after an eclipse, especially if it touches important points in a person's birth chart. 5. Doorway to self-understanding. Solar eclipses are considered doorways to deeper self-understanding and growth. They challenge us to confront our shadows, dive deeper into our subconscious, and emerge with greater clarity about who we are and what we want from life. In conclusion, the solar eclipse has been present throughout human history, inspiring both scientific curiosity and spiritual significance. It also inspires my artistic creativity. For a short and fun alien story, watch this video here.